William Knife Man.
Incoming transmission.
Red alert! All hands to battle stations!
Come on, man.
Anim Buju, Ernest Joseph Upagard Peltier the Third Indigenaka, Makadewa Makandunjum, Indunjanaba, Makanakwa, Jiji, Ininiwe. Hi, hello, welcome to A Cup of Joe. I know it's been a while. Today is Wednesday, May 10th, 2023. Welcome to the 14th episode of our show. Meek Witch for joining me. Today I am covering the White House Correspondents' Dinner blockade and the events leading up to it. Oh, wow, it's been a good one. It's been a good time since I've been back on. Let's see. I think it's been about a month and a half. And I just want to say hello. I missed you all. It's been a crazy time. We've had a handful of different events that we've done and preparing for Juneteenth next month. I know that I have a meeting with Project for a Change on Monday, and I can't wait because I've kind of actually been too busy for our other two meetings leading up to Juneteenth to participate. But luckily, I have Tyler out there, couples that organize together, stay together. And he's been helping out the ladies over in Project for a Change and making sure that we are providing enough support for them. On top of that, Gina is on the show today. We have a few guest stars that I'm bringing in today. We got Lobo from the Brown Berets, Jay, who is kind of a little bit late, but he'll be showing up here shortly. He is from Climate Defiance, and we're going to be discussing the Climate Defiance week of direct action leading up to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Our march from the Triangle Park right by the depot section in Washington, D.C., all the way up to the Hilton where the Correspondents' Dinner took place, and then the after party, what we did after that. If you are watching, hit that like and share button, and in the chat, say hey to Gina. She is our co-producer for the night. I love it. And I'm back, folks. I'm back. I missed it. I won't be having a show on Friday, and I'm taking off next week. I know Joe just came back, but my birthday is next week on Friday, and I'm planning on just doing a lot of rest and relaxation. It's been a heck of a week. I actually just got done helping out with the ladies over at IEN doing a women's conference, doing my thing. I was the gopher for the weekend. And then before that, we had our MMIW rally here in Bemidji. I'll be covering that at the end of this month. Oh, well, I'm flying through. Who do we have in our chat today? Hey, Raul. Oh, man. Hey, if you want to jump in anytime, come jump on. Lobo has the link. You're invited to come join us. And, of course, hit that like and share button. Anything else? Am I missing anything else? I think we're good. I think I'm going to first start out with explaining a little bit about Climate Defiance before we bring our guests on. And Climate Defiance, they brought Gina and I out to DC. We're not a part of the organization, but we've interacted and engaged with a few of their organizers throughout the last couple of years. And it's glad to see that these organizers are under one roof. It's a group of young, rambunctious climate champions that are willing folks, willing to hold our own accountable. And if you know anything about me, I love to hold everyone accountable that's, going against what we need to get done, going against the movement. And to see these young folks putting the pressure on the Biden administration, oh, it gets my tingles going. And as you can see on the screen there, that one of their main areas of target is the new fossil fuels. And Joe Biden had promised in 2020, as he was running for president, that he would do no more fossil fuel permits or leases. And it hurts me. It hurts me because, Auntie Deb Haaland is out there in the Department of Interior, and she's the one that are signing off on these permits. And as we sit now, Joe Biden has exceeded President Trump's fossil fuel permits in this time of his administration by at least 400 permits. And folks, we're leading on to one of the worst climate presidents that we've had so far. And that hurts me inside to see that our auntie, Deb Haaland, is over there, supporting this plan, supporting what Joe Biden's doing, and hiding under our culture to allow this great inhumanity, this great injustice happen to our lands. So I'm proud of these young climate warriors from Climate Defiance. And if you can see that's them. It is a great group of young adults mixed with our allies. And they're out there going into climate organizations, fundraising events, and shutting down huge speakers. They've done the climate czar for Joe Biden. We'll cover that later on in the show. They've got him at least 5 times, and it's something that I'm very proud to say that Gene and I got to shut down one of his speeches. Oh, Ali Zaidi, if I have that name right. We are young, we are livid, we are no longer willing to be disposable. We have been sold out by our politicians. We have been betrayed, but we refuse to lose hope. We come with many walks of life, but we are united in the fight for a thriving and just world. We came of an age in a time of great turmoil, a global pandemic, a deadly assault on our democracy, mass shootings with our morning coffee, and hovering above it all, an existential crisis that threatens every fiber of every being in every corner of the world. Our leaders have failed to save us, so we will save ourselves. We will aim not to just work within the current political reality. We aim to change it. We can do it. We have the leverage. The laws of nature do not care what's realistically feasible, and neither do we. We will use mass turnout, peaceful direct action to force our politicians to take action at the scope and speed necessary to avert the worst impacts of this crisis. Our leaders have failed us, so we will save ourselves. We will aim not to work within the current political reality. We can do it. We have the leverage. And I wanted to repeat that because, that hits deep in the heart, that hits deep in my grassroots organizing. These kids, these young adults have it. You can see over on your right hand, on your left hand of your screen, that is Jay sitting there with the group of Climate Defiance champions, and they're shutting down Alex Zaidi's speech. The mission of Climate Defiance: to end fossil fuel extraction on federal lands and waters, to end sacrifice zones and usher in a just transition for those most impacted. Stand in solidarity with our sisters' struggles for racial and economic justice. Deploy mass turnout, disruptive direct action to compel politicians to act with the urgency this moment deserves. Elevate climate change to the top 3 political issues here in America. Make support for any fossil fuels as unacceptable on the left as opposing abortion or gay marriage. Oh, I love that. They plan on moving that Overton window, and that is the view that we politically see. And right now that view is stuck right on the right side of the center, and we want to move it back to the left, back to where it needs to be, where we can get our social programs funded, where we can get our teachers lower ratios, when we have universal basic health care, where we have higher wages, $25 a minimum wage, where we stop fossil fuels in their tracks. Make it clear to Democratic lawmakers that the youth vote will only deliver for them if they deliver for us. Oh. All right, so a little about the rundown you can see on the screen. I'm going to bypass this and move on forward. 3 of their visions for climate defiance is racial justice, economic equality, a planet that sustains life. You can check out more on their website, which is www.climatedefiance.org. Moving forward. Give me one moment. All right. So I see that my guests step away for a moment, but they'll be right back. Gina, are you ready? Gina's there. Okay. So youth climate activists blockaded the White House Correspondents' Dinner to demand Biden keep his climate promises. And I'm pulling on, of course, our awesome and my older sister, who is amazing, Gina Peltier. Buju, you're on mute, hun.
Ani Najian Makade Makwan Dudo Manisha Navi and Dunjaba Mikanakujian anyway, Gina Peltier and Dijnakash. I'm Black Bear Clan. I'm Anishinaabe with the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa. And my name's Gina Peltier, and I'm so excited to be here with everyone today. And thank you so much, Chimigwich Nishimi, for that amazing introduction. And I'm so grateful that I have you as a buddy in all of this world-saving actions we're trying to do. And then that too, I do have to give you a big shout out because this is really stressful what we do. And you have been doing an amazing job grounding me and reminding me we need to practice what we preach and all the kindness and patience and compassion and understanding. And when I get down on myself and I feel like I'm not doing the best, you're always reminding me that I am, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much.
Oh, man, how do I introduce our next guest after you give me such a warm welcoming? I love it. Well, since you are full of beautiful and powerful words, could you introduce our next guest?
Oh my gosh, our next guest, doing these actions and these events and traveling like this is so scary and makes me full of anxiety. And then that too, I really like my personal space, but this person shows up with such grace and honor and amazing skills that it really made that whole entire time easier, and it relaxed me. And I couldn't thank enough that this person shows up in our spaces. And I would like to introduce Lobo with the brown berets.
Hello, how are you doing, everybody? My berets all crooked. I'm always messing with that thing. Anyway, how you guys doing?
Oh, good morning. We're in morning? No. Okay, kind of it's my morning, but good evening, Lobo.
I miss your cooking. I have to tell you guys, he cooked for us every day, and I became a very vocal eater because it was just that good. I was just like, ooh, yes, it's so good. And then that too, it really helped us amplify our cooking. Joey, I hear you've been cooking a lot too since you got back. Learn some nice Lobo.
Yeah, I sent the pictures over to Lobo earlier just to flaunt off my skills. I made some wild rice chicken fried rice last night. I had Tyler pick me up a rotisserie chicken. You know, we demeated it, and then this afternoon we had some chicken tacos with refried beans and wild rice. It was delicious, and I finished the evening with some. Uh, oh, I'm having a brain fart. Chicken wild rice soup that I made the stock homemade with that rotisserie chicken bones and everything. It turned out amazing. We sent half of it upstairs to the grandma upstairs. She's sharing it with her son, and she was very appreciative of it. It tastes great. I mean, I outdid myself, but that's nothing compared to the real Chicano food that Lobo made us 2 weeks ago. And I am so appreciative that you came, that we brought you into it, and that you got to stay with us at the B&B for the whole entire week with your husband and you. And I'm sorry. We're the worst people to have to protect because like we're everywhere, you know, and Gina, she likes to break that buddy rule quite a bit, as you could tell last week
I
or
get
2 weeks ago.
passionate. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So, Lobo, do you want to say a little something about yourself? Introduce yourself to the viewers.
Yeah.
Give a
Sure.
little more context on
Oh, wow.
Brown Brace.
Let me try to see if I can just go on my camera. Sorry, I got some cheap equipment.
no worries. I'm working with half the equipment today because I was a little bit too busy to have to set up the whole sound equipment. So I'm working on my ear pods with my mic and my sound. And, you know, I feel you.
Yeah.
But you're back.
Yeah. So I guess as long as you guys can hear me in my video, are you guys seeing that too? Like my videos like going crazy?
Yep, a little bit.
Weird. All right. Yeah, my house is haunted, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. So, let me just.
We'll see you in a moment, Lobo. We'll see you in a moment. Okay, so we started off the week on Monday, and how it happened was we got a call from Michael Green. What's Michael's last name again? Greenwald? Greenberg. Oh man, I keep on like confusing him with like Glenn Greenwald and Michael Greenberg. Oofda. You can tell where my head is. Both are amazing people. But we got a call from Michael asking if we would go out on the Thursday for a Friday event and the Saturday White House Correspondents' Dinner. And Gina and I, this call came like back in January. And at first we're like, yeah, we're down for that. But Gina has been tied up with her work organizing, and you know, she made sure that Michael knew that both her and I wouldn't be available to spend every meeting in those meetings and help, you know, organize this sucker. We made as many as we possibly could, and the 2 weeks beforehand, we get a call. No, the week beforehand, we get a call from Michael saying, "Hey, so we know you're coming out on for the Friday event. Will you come out for a Wednesday event and leave on Tuesday?" And I was like, okay, well, I know I have the time. Let's do it. So I gave a call to Gina. She's like, yeah, we could do that. So we set up our plane tickets and get ready. You know, we're leaving in about a week. And the following day, I get another call from Michael. I'm pulling Lobo up. I get another call from Michael. And he's like, well, could you come on Monday? And for a Tuesday event. And we were like, ooh, a whole week out in DC. That we knew it was going to drain us. We knew we were going to get fried. And we knew that it was going to be fun as heck. And honestly, it was amazing. And I'm going to pause my story and go back over to Lobo. You want to introduce, you know, a little bit about yourself, how you got pulled in with us, and maybe some background on what you do?
Yeah, sure. Maybe a little better if I hold my. I got it on my phone. I was just like my computer, cheap camera. It's just like crapping out. So anyway, also, can you guys hear me better? Awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
Raul was telling me that I sounded pretty far away. All right. So yeah, I am Cuetlaxli Choloto of Los Brown Berets, aka Bato Lobo, or just Lobo for short. I've been with the Brown Berets for about 3 years now. The Berets, they started back in the 60s. They started with a bunch of students doing walkouts in Chicano schools because the schools that were given to Chicanos, because it was segregated in California, they got like really crappy, like old books that were out of date and their equipment didn't work. And, they just, they didn't get a lot of good care. So they started doing walkouts and it was very successful. So a bunch of the students said, hey, we could do more with this for the Chicano people. And thus the Brown Berets were started. Definitely inspired by the Black Panthers. And so
That's what's up.
we are a Chicano activist group. We see ourselves as rightfully so indigenous. Actually, the word Chicano is an ancient word in the Aztec. It actually means anyone that is born or indigenous from Turtle Island. So lots of indigenous people are Chicano, but somewhere in the 40s, it started being used to mean Mexican American. So just a little quick history about that. So as Chicano activists, we try to educate people about decolonization. We fight for not just the Chicano population, but any kind of minority. We work closely with the Black Panthers, AIM. We also work with LGBTQ. I'm gay myself, and our leader is actually also a member of the LGBTQ and is a female. So we fight for everybody. We do a lot of community service, and we also do environmental activism because if this thing is coming up. Because if the planet's not here, then everything else we're fighting for doesn't matter. So environmental activism is very, very important.
Agreed. So how'd you get tied up with Gina and I? The crazy Pelchi kids.
So I do apologize. Like now I'm having trouble like with my volume hearing you guys. Hold on a second. Let me see. Let me try to say that again, sir.
So how'd you get tied up with the crazy Pelchi kids?
Oh, with you guys?
Oh yeah.
Well, luckily I met you guys at one of the DC rallies for the March Against the Mountain Valley Pipeline. And working close with you guys and AIM and everything, and hearing your stories, and I was like, oh yeah, these guys are really cool, so I got to keep up with them, and next thing I know, you're asking me to come up to DC again. I'm like, sure, I'll be there.
It was the best reference Jason and Crystal could have given me, and I'm so appreciative of both of them because they're I credit Jason and Crystal for actually introducing us and putting you directly on our radar. Like, this is a person that you need to get close to, because that was the best. I can't imagine us surviving 2 weeks ago without you and your husband.
Thank you so much for coming out and cooking and joining us and being moral support. That was so fun.
Yeah,
Monday.
I'm so glad I could be there. It was pretty amazing. I definitely felt like I was we kind of security chef, chauffeur. I don't know. But it was fun.
You really showed up, and I'm so grateful. Because being in DC, it really makes me sassy and in a different realm, and you and Raul being there, it made it so much easier for me, because like I don't like being in the city. I really like being out in nature and stuff like that. So being in DC with all those people doing what we do, usually it just really gets me wound up, and it was so nice to have you guys there. It really helped ground me. Especially with that good food. Holy, like I have never been that well taken care of before. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and looks like it inspired Joey because he made his own broth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she's
Oh, yeah.
smoking
From
American
scratch.
spirits now too.
So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how far money can go when you just go grocery shopping and just make stuff kind of from scratch. It's super fun, it's super healthy, and it's super cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, I scored that wild rice at the event I was helping out this past weekend. So we had a ton of wild rice for free. All we really spent was the I think it was like $8 for the rotisserie chicken, and that lasted 3 meals. So yeah, you saved us roughly I don't know, about $90 eating out for the two of us. McDonald's is not cheap anymore.
Yeah. And
Okay, I'm not I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. We may eat out at Applebee's quite a bit though. Half price apps.
Anyway, should we get to our week in Washington?
Yeah, let me quickly check Signal and see if Jay's any sooner. No, not sooner yet. Okay. So our week in Washington, where did we leave off?
Michael Greenberg from Climate Defiance invited us out to DC to be out there for a full week, to start off the week doing pre-events and actions that would lead up to our final, well, I shouldn't say final, but the big old blockade of the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So Monday, we all arrived at the Airbnb at night at the same time. And then Tuesday, we got up and we shut down a keynote speech by Senior Advisor to the President, John Podesta. We were dressing a room full of millionaires in a 5-star hotel. Podesta said we can only get to net zero by 2050. So we basically sang him off stage, as quoted by Climate Defiance Twitter. Do you have any comments on that, Joey?
Well, I do have the video. Here, let me hit that video.
Okay.
Can you hear it? No?
No.
All right, give me one moment, folks. Bam.
Yes, and this is the same footage that made Democracy Now! That Friday.
I actually have that video also. Bam. Wait, did that share my... Okay. Can you hear it?
No.
No? Oh. I'm sorry, folks. We're having a little issue. And, it was surprising to get on Democracy Now! I always wanted to, meet Amy Goodman. And, bam, there we go. Share audio tab. And to see Gina on there screaming at John Podesta made my freaking year.
I always try to do stuff in a good way. And so when stuff like this happens, things just come out of my mouth. And the only thing is I get so worried and full of anxiety, after these events and rallies and stuff too. Like, did I do what needed to be done to wake people up and let them know that all this stuff is going on and we need to save the world? But apparently people keep saying that I just need to keep showing up and doing what I'm doing and speaking because it's making a difference or something. So, but I'll let you play the video.
Okay, before I go into the video, I just have to say, so we got up early that morning, and Lobo had to work because he does remote work, and we got dropped off by Raul. By the time we got dropped off, folks, we had folks in the inside. You can see that room on the video right there. We had folks on the inside, and by the time we got dropped off, 2 of our folks on the inside got pulled out. So we were like, "Oh, what's gonna happen?" No, I'm wrong on this. Oh, shit! I jumped the day, so I'm sorry, folks. So we got dropped off by Raul, and we started off at a park, and we met up everyone at a park to get told the plan. And Michael started off saying, "Well, we have a hotel room, and we're gonna usher people in, 3 to 4 people at a time to get up to this hotel room. You can't get caught, be discreet and get up there." So, Gene and I, of course, buddies, we walked with Michael and had a great conversation with him, get up into the hotel room, and there's a small group, and people start filtering it in. We break down what the plan was going to go like. We sang a little bit. We held our signs to get ready, who stood where, all the basics of being told the plan. And then we got told that we had to go down in groups of 3 and get ready in the lobby to go in there and not get caught. So we went down into the lobby, and unfortunately, since how it was lined up, I got split from my buddy. Sorry, Gina. And she was in the second group, and I was with Jay and our cameraman. We get down there, we find out that as we're down there, that group just went on a break. So they're all filtering out into the lobby. We book it to the bathroom, use the restroom, and decided to come out. And I was like, well, I'm just going to plop it down. I see this little nook of an area with books and some couches, and I plop it down. I pull out my phone, start scrolling Facebook. Jay's looking at me. We have a brief discussion, and then this lady plops it down, and she looked like she had something to do. She looked like she was somebody official. Come to find out later on that this lady was the whole facilitator for that event, and she had no clue who we were or what we were doing, and she didn't bug us. And as they started filtering back in the room slowly, Jay gives us the notice. Mind you, this is B's plan, BA's, and that's the lady that's standing in the screen right there. So he gives us the notice to go right in there, and I'll play what it looks like.
Keep your promise, no new drilling. Keep your promise, no new drilling. Keep your promise, no new drilling. Keep your promise, no new drilling.
Oh, he was pissed.
Keep your promise, no new drilling. Keep your promise, crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. People gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, keep it in the ground. The people gonna rise like the water, gonna face this crisis now. Oh yeah, I hear the voice of my great granddaughter.
And everyone's future is going down, you guys. You never needed fossil fuels. Y'all need to stop supporting it. You are going to be complacent to the destruction of Mother Earth and everyone's future.
And what does it mean if Biden's saying no new drilling in federal lands, and we get expansion of projects 30 years into the future, guaranteeing greenhouse gas emissions?
All right, I just got to point out, doesn't that look like Pauly Shore? I'll get back to that.
I appreciate their passion. And we're trying to create a transition that gets to net zero by 2050.
Too late!
They have a point of view.
That is too late!
30 years.
That is too late!
30 years.
We've heard that, but let's just ask Jonathan to say,
Keep your promise.
well, I don't think
Protect
we're
our
going to
future.
stop.
Amazing. I freaking love that. The whole thing. We ended up shutting down that whole speech because he didn't want to give us anything but empty platitudes. And they had a time limit. So they emptied out, they filtered out, and so we didn't want to give up the space, but we wanted to see what was going on. And we ended up going out in the hallway, doing some chants, and the facilitator, she plops it down. And one moment, Jay, I'll pull you up here in a moment. She plops it down, and she's just, doing her thing, doing her check mark, seeing who attended. I don't know what she was actually doing, but I plop it down there, and I'm just sitting there talking with her a little bit, trying to figure out who she was. She works for a climate organization that hosted that event, and they were there to get big money donations. So, we shut it down because, we're sick of these empty platitudes. And I'm looking at Jay, our guest who's coming on here in a moment, and I'm like, shit, he looks like Pauly Shore, Encino Man and Biodome. And I look at the security guard, and I'm just like, hey, I have a question for you. And everyone just stops and they look at me and they're like, what's going to come out of Joe's mouth? And I'm like, doesn't he look like Pauly Shore? And everyone starts laughing. I freaking loved it. Well, let's introduce our next guest. I'm bringing on Jay Pauly Shore. Good morning.
Good morning. What is up?
Welcome.
What's up, homie?
Hey, what's up, Lobo? What's up, Joey? What's up, Gina?
Going good. So we were just getting done with talking about Tuesday's event with John Podesta. Of course, you heard that. Lobo had a chance to introduce himself, what he's about, and how he met us. If you want to go into that, I know you just jumped in with us, but who are you, and how'd you meet us, and what do you do?
Nice. Well, I am lucky enough to do stuff that puts me together with y'all, and I think that's been such a powerful piece of what has been activism and organizing for about 3 or 4 years now. Organizing at first is what got me into it, but that's kind of what I do as much as I can without burning out. I think we probably all know that. That's easy to happen. But yeah, so what do I do when we have the energy? I think to organize, resist, disrupt the way that things are right now. It's so many different ways that we need to. Otherwise, are we saying that this is all right? What's going on? And so I think that those have been such awesome kind of things that I've been lucky to be able to try to pursue, is to organize us as much as we can so that we've got a good, collection of humans to take on this challenge, and then to find, awesome ways to act with intention and with principle and some morality when there isn't that much to take that collective force to people that need to hear it,
Yeah. And who are you organizing out of right now?
Oh yeah, sorry, should have said that. So with climate defiance is my just a recent. It's my recent. I've been doing a lot of part-time stuff, and climate defiance. I've been doing about 30 hours a week with them the last 3 weeks, and just really, really just amazed at the team that's been brought together for it. So pleasantly surprised each step of the way. Us getting to meet, and it just seems to continue. We had a few more people that when we blocked John Podesta again today, we were in
again.
And again on the way out of his bipartisan policy center talk, he was going down the street and he got stuck in some DC traffic, and so we went out and blocked his car with the sign. But
that's what's up.
Yeah, and at that action itself, two new people came through again, and we should continue to build the squad. But yeah, Climate Defiance has been so inspiring. I also do work with Poor People's Campaign, with Ralph Nader's team, Capital Citizen. You know.
Wait. You work with Nader?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know. I'm just leading on the audience, but so I just want to point that out because Gina and I used to work for Winona LaDuke, and Gina and I used to work for Winona LaDuke, and just the woman behind the man for 96 and 2000, and I've oh my God, I've never said this on air, but I kind of fangirled after realizing that Winona LaDuke ran for vice president, and that I was in her organization doing the thing. Anyways, how does it feel like working for Nader?
Yeah, it's cool. It's been kind of surreal. I was recently trying to stabilize here. Recently, like over with my sister, she had an accident, and I was helping support her, and we were watching a show. And at 8:45 one night, I get a call, and it's like, "Hey, Jay, this is Ralph Nader. How are you?" And wanted me to throw together a demonstration about getting Clarence Thomas to resign. So we did that
That's
at
what's
Supreme
up.
Court. Yeah, I had worked with his newspaper a little bit, to kind of, instead of a court watch, to be a Congress watch. That whole building, that whole collection of buildings up there on Capitol Hill is a shit show.
Yeah.
And so to have a Congress watch paper, I think the tagline says it pretty well. It's Washington Post says democracy dies in the darkness, right? Capital Citizen says democracy dies in broad daylight, because they're there in the middle of the day enacting policy that has just been doing so many things, including hurting our democracy, hurting people's access to resources and any kind of real say in what happens.
So you're taking that knowledge with you, and you're bringing that to Climate Defiance. Who makes up Climate Defiance, and what is their prime agenda currently?
Yeah. So and if anybody's curious at a deeper level, I'll touch into some of these things. But Climate Defiance and it's at climatedefiance.org, just if you want to follow through on anything there. But it's basically an organization that is committed to knowing that nonviolent direct action is going to bring organizing wins and policy wins that our politicians sure aren't going to do unless they have some moral conscience in the form of people that are going to show up and help remind them what it looks like to be morally aware and morally, give attention to what is morally right. So I think with Climate Defiance, bringing that, Poor People's Campaign's whole motto is a national call for moral revival. It's I think there's extensions into what Climate Defiance is uncovering as well, or is pointing disruption actions toward. It's to say that if we're going to pretend to have any morality for our planet and for our communities, then we need to be doing things differently than what politicians are trying to get away with now. And just to bring it back to Climate Defiance, it's trying to just call out the fact that Joe Biden's saying, in Campaign Dawn, got our votes to say no new drilling on federal lands, period. And then goes ahead and drills and does the Willow Project and new LNG pipelines. And it's just a slap in the face to voters, to a party that calls himself Democratic. And so targeting that, showing that people are really frustrated and pissed off by that, I think is some of that moral moral pushing that is we're already seeing, wins. Tina Smith saying, these are words, right? But saying that she's gonna push on Biden to stop to shut down Line 3 and expansion of projects, so.
So
Yeah.
for the folks that don't know that, during our correspondence blockade, we came across Tina Smith. It was during the blockade, correct?
Yeah, it was about maybe 30 minutes after we were assembled.
And she came out and said that she would be willing to pressure Biden to stop to decommission Line 3, which it was an amazing push that Climate Defiance got for us here in Minnesota, and I'm so grateful for that. Back to Tuesday. So, do you have any input for the Podesta event?
From our Podesta event a couple weeks ago?
Yep.
Or was that? Time is running together. That was right. Yeah. So the leading up to the Correspondence Dinner, I think with that disruption, Podesta disruption, I think the biggest thing that's coming to mind with it is, here we go. Is that we didn't disrupt his speech fully today. We caught him on the way out. They were ready for us. There was five women at the front. They were adamant we weren't getting in. Anyway. So, but John Podesta talked today. We listened to it while we were outside, getting ready to bird dog him, and the whole thing was platitudes. It was all empty words about how we're going to transition to a green economy, but while we protect our capital interests, while we try to establish relationships with people that have special minerals that we need, and just, if the context of like United States is committing to defending their empire, then what he's saying is actually not only empty, but just continuing a system of violence. And so when we asked him pointed questions, which maybe we'll see in this video a little bit, he has no good answer. And that happened. I think that happened again today. We blocked his SUV. He didn't come out and talk to us. He didn't show any community engagement like he was talking about in his talk. And so I think that it's proof that this disruption is something that is putting real questions out there, that these mindsets, these approaches of austerity and a scarcity mindset, they don't have good answers for, and because there's no real solutions that I think they're talking about. I think it's just more of the same status quo and how to preserve that from being the status quo for as long as possible. So,
all right, give me one moment. I have the video for today, if you don't mind me showing that.
Oh no, yeah, especially on Democracy Now. That.
Okay, let's see. Bam.
Oh, from today.
From today to today. Oh shoot. Okay, I have it on my screen, but I don't have it in the show. Bam.
So this is from
Keep
this
your
morning.
promise. No
Yes.
new drilling. Keep your promise. No new drilling. Keep your promise. No new drilling. Keep your promise. No new drilling.
So this Tesla's like, okay, let me get out of here.
No new drilling. Keep your promise.
Then
no
we're there.
New drilling. Keep your promise.
We kind of get in front, and they try to leave. The video cuts off, but try to get around us. They can't really get around us.
Keep your promise. No
We're there
new
for
drilling.
a solid
Keep your promise.
20 seconds.
No new drilling.
Lesson learned: we should have kept the street. We should have kept the street for longer. Whose streets? They're our streets.
Our streets.
Exactly. So, and then yeah, so he's gonna know that the Biden administration is gonna continue to know who we are, and I don't see any signs that we'll be stopping anytime soon.
That's so
man,
cool.
that is great to hear. I know I saw the post earlier on in our chat, and I was excited to see and hear what happened today. So I'm gonna pull up 2 Tuesdays ago. Oh, actually, it was the headlines for April 28th on Democracy Now. Bam. Because Gina's there. I just have to say it. Gina's there. We're all there.
The Senate's voted to roll back emission standards for.
Hey, Squish, do you remember what number that started at?
6:30.
Yeah. Because I have the whole thing.
Yeah.
Earlier this week outside the offices of banking giant Citibank in New York and Wells Fargo in San Francisco. A new study titled Banking on Climate Chaos finds the world's largest private banks loaned $5.5 trillion to fossil fuel projects since nations signed the Paris Climate Agreement. On Tuesday, climate activists interrupted a talk by John Podesta, who heads the White House Office of Clean Energy Innovation and Implementation. They were demanding the Biden administration reverse its approval of ConocoPhillips' Willow project in northern Alaska and act swiftly to end the use of fossil fuels.
Going down, you guys. You never needed fossil fuels. Y'all need to stop supporting it. You are going to be complacent to the destruction of Mother Earth and everyone's future.
I appreciate their passion.
I know, like, Gina's having, like, PTSD moments because, like, we hate listening to ourselves on camera.
They have a point of view.
It's too late.
I feel that.
It's too late.
The protest was organized by Climate Defiance, a new organization that's vowed to disrupt the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner in Washington, D.C. this weekend.
And we did disrupt that. We disrupted the hell out of that one. Bam. So Wednesday, the 28th, we crashed the White House National Climate Advisor, Ali Azadi, who was speaking. We were, man, I should have edited this. We are here in D.C. to hold Biden and his administration accountable to their 2020 campaign promises of no new fossil fuel permits. Biden administration has approved more fossil fuel permits than the previous administration. Biden is worse on the climate than Donald Trump. And those are pictures of our action on Wednesday. I'm going to blow that up here 1 moment. Give me 1 moment, folks. Bam. So this is the event that we had a few people inside on. And when we got dropped off by Raul, what was it? 2 of our folks inside had already gotten booted out. And by the time we all met up in the park, another one of our persons got booted out. So we were trying to figure out what our steps were going to be and how we were going to get in there and how we were going to disrupt Alex Azadi's speech. And finally, Michael and our camera folks split off and tried to go around. They got inside. And Jay, this mastermind of like awesome organizing, was like, well, hey, there's this door. It might be a security door, but if we try to go in there, we can at least disrupt and be noisy as all heck. So you can see, bam, in that first picture, that is the security doorway where we held up. And so we're sitting in there and we're doing our chants, and the security guards were holding us back. And the thing that points out to me is when Michael got booted out of the event itself, they grabbed him by his collar and by his belt and just whoosh right out the door. And as he was flying, his face was amazing, by the way. I have to give it to him. He had that I wish we got it on camera face. Gina, she saw an opening and she booked it right in there. Oh my God, she broke she broke the buddy code where we never separate or line aside each other. She broke that sucker. And Gina, can you go in a little bit on what you did while you were inside there?
Yeah, there's video of it too. But I don't know, I just started hollering at them like I usually do. They started touching me, and so I sat down and I told them not to touch me. And then they said I was trespassing. And I think, I responded with, no, you're trespassing, you're on stolen land or something like that. And then I just, started trying to educate them, of how complicit they are with the destruction of Mother Earth and, all that other stuff. And then, they were trying to get me out of there and it wasn't working. And so, finally the officer showed up. He was done getting everyone out of the entryway. And so he came back for me and he's like, ma'am, you need to leave. And I was like, yeah, I'm not looking to get arrested right now. And so I got up and then I just, as I was being escorted out, I continued to give them a piece of my mind, telling them they we can do better, they need to do better, and all that stuff. Same old usual stuff that I try to educate people with.
If you want to take a moment and find your video, that'd be cool, and throw it up there. But my little recap on you being in there and how I saw the video is Gina's getting yelled at by all these European American women. And Gina's like, you're on stolen land. And a cop comes up, ma'am, it's time for you to go. And Gina's like, okay, I'll go. And then she yells, rah, 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 rah. I can't even remember what she said at the end, but it was beautiful. That video is beautiful. Anything you want to put in on that event, Jay?
I just cannot celebrate that activity enough. And Gina, you shooting in there what I don't even know what, just like a blur. As soon as Michael was getting tossed out to roll in, to sit down, and just so instantly launch into, where's your Indigenous representation? Where are you pretending to think this conversation is going to go without bringing in some of these really key pieces and acknowledging what, whose land they're on and all. It's just, like you said, these same things that you go to educate people, that without that, they wouldn't have heard it until decades down the line, understanding that the land back is a real thing that needs to happen, and a real movement, and to start to raise that moral conscience again. I was in awe. That video is so good. It's just sitting down and being there. I just props.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Like I say, I never know what I'm doing. I just always try to do things in a good way, the best way possible. And that's why I'm in this movement, is to try and save Mama, Key, the world, and everyone else. And I did find the video. If you want me to share it.
Do it. Do it up.
Myself. But yeah. Let's see. Share screen. Yep. Okay. This one.
Are you sure that one?
Let's see. Can you see it and hear it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got manhandled. Oh!
Land in the water. You own your land. This Turtle Island, if you're not going to protect it, you are not protecting. So
America's fresh ones. That's what oil does. We never needed fossil fuels. You don't know Henry Ford's first automobiles ran off a hemp fuel. Whole model was made of hemp steel. You need to leave because you all are. No, you're part of the cause. The cause is your cause to save the world, to save the planet, and that's not what y'all are doing. Do you think I want to be doing this here right now? I would love to have a conversation with y'all, but you don't let us in to have a conversation. You don't let us in to have a
You have to leave the location. You're not allowed, okay? Come on. You can protest outside. Come on.
Do you hear that? Thank you so much.
Indigenous reputation! Y'all have stolen land and you're complacent to the destruction of Mother Earth! We deserve to be heard!
Come on, man.
Y'all are complacent! You ain't doing your job! You can do better! Do better! Y'all can do better!
So all I can say is while you were in there, they got the worst pictures of me. Not that this is about me, but you're on my show. But I was paranoid as all hell. I was texting you, Gina. Gina, where are you? Are you okay? Are you okay? And all they got me was on the side, just looking at my phone, and I feel so bad because I should have been with the group and hooting and hollering and
Well,
yeah.
I will just upon watching that video again, Joey, I will say that I don't think that space, that angle was possible without you and without Michael. You and Carol being there and continuing to gain space. You can see in the video that Gina took to push to gain space, which is what it's all about. That was absolutely essential to all of it happening. So thank you as well. Thank you too, because it was so powerful. That video is, I'm gonna watch that so many times across my life.
So we ended up that event. We stood outside for about a half hour to 45 minutes trying to get him on his way out. But then we ended up going to a coffee shop, letting the IT people cut the video, and the rest of us booked it to a park where we broke down what kind of events we wanted to do that week. And the group came up to me to ask Lobo if we could go into this event that is part of the Chicano culture and how we can approach it and how we can go in there with a good heart and not be in there disrespectful. Unfortunately, it was an open event, but you had to RSVP to the event, and when we got there, we didn't know that. We talked to the facilitators. We tried to get in. We tried to use the prestige that we have, but we have none, so we didn't get in. But as we were standing there waiting, the person came by, and honestly, we got a cool ass moment to meet John Leguizamo. And that was like the most epic thing that happened all week. I'm sorry, folks, but like he was crossing in to go inside, and Gina's just like eagle eye, bam, it's John! John! They won't let us in. Can you take a picture with us?
Yeah, I think it was Lobo who pointed out that John just got off the elevator, and I saw a prime opportunity again. The opportunist I am. John, they won't let us in. We came all this way to see you. Take a picture with us. Like, okay, hurry up. I'm late to be on stage.
Go for it, Lobo.
But yeah, so he came over and I was just looked at him. I was like, so, are you familiar with or who the Brown Berets are? And he was like, of course I am. And also on my new television show on NBC, we're going to be doing an episode about the Brown Berets. So stay tuned. I'm like, oh, wow.
That's what's up.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I was really surprised. And it was great.
We also got to meet. Oh, well, one moment. So there was a Thursday action, yet Gina and I took the day off. Jay, do you remember? Were you at the Thursday action? Because I know that Jason Goward was.
Yeah, there was, let me see, Thursday. Well, Thursday was John Leguizamo, and then Friday there was an action that morning. And what was that Friday?
The CNN brunch.
The brunch was this brunch was the Correspondence Dinner brunch. That was Saturday morning. Friday, we didn't end up doing one Friday. The one with, did Jason do one without y'all there?
Yeah, he came in on Thursday.
No, he came in on
No,
Friday.
it was Friday.
Yeah, because Thursday we took a day off because doing this stuff is quite exhausting and full of anxiety and trauma and dangerous and stuff like that. So Thursday we took a well-deserved day off, and then Friday was a training day, and that's when Jason Goward came in. And we gathered and did our training, and then Saturday morning is when the CNN brunch happened.
Okay, I have my dates wrong. It was a crazy week.
Well, minor detail, the CNN brunch was on Sunday, the one where we jumped in and that was the one that I think Jason, yeah. So the CNN brunch was the one that Jason was at. The Saturday one where we were there, Rosario Dawson came through. She came in and got the picture next to the land back flag. That was like officially the White House Correspondents Association 30th annual garden brunch. And just everybody was dressed to the nines and like red carpet kind of vibe. TMZ was making fun of me for wearing like, oh, bro, are those leather shoes? You can't be showing up and defending the climate if you're. They're not leather anyway. But
I think I set him off because I was like, the only reporter that's reporting us out here is TMZ, and he was like, hey. Anyways, yeah,
funny.
and
it's funny.
Those were your dad's shoes, right? That you inherited.
Those weren't. I do have some of mine that I was thinking that those were for a sec, but no, they're the other ones. But yeah, no, that was wild. That brunch was. See, there we go.
We met Rosario Dawson.
Miss Rosario. Yeah, she came over right away. As soon as she got out there, she saw us and saw that we had our end fossil fuels and land back flags, and she's like, "Oh, hell yeah, let's come over and take a pic."
So
yeah, she's like, "Can I take a picture with you guys?" They're like, "Yeah."
Well, and I feel like it's those things and just the little piece of, John Leguizamo understanding that we're real. We got the vibes, and Lobo, I'm so glad we brought that. I didn't know that. Yeah, so glad you guys had a convo, and I didn't know that they were gonna officially do a episode involving brown berets. That's magical.
Yeah, that gives me hope because, like on the west side, we're a household name. Like everybody knows who we are. Just like everybody knows who the Black Panthers are, right? Everybody knows who the Brown Berets are, on the west coast, even down to Texas. But here on the east side, man, people are like, "What's that?" So it'll be great to get some more.
Ooh, wow. Well, for the folks at home who wants to see us, what we did Saturday morning, here is the video of us crazy folks. Gina and Lobo had to run back to the car, so we ended up just rolling in there hardcore, and it was a heated engagement with the security guards and the facilitators for the lunch or the garden party, the bougie ass garden party. And I got manhandled, but I'm proud enough to say that it took 4 big men to try to push me away, and they could not get any ground.
Hi, folks. If you're checking in for the brunch, it's going to be straight down this sidewalk. Sir,
You're reporting. Our planet is burning. Do your reporting. Our planet is burning. Do your reporting. Our planet is burning.
New York reporting. The planet is burning. New York reporting. The planet is burning. New York reporting. The planet is burning. New York reporting. The planet is burning. New York reporting. The planet is burning. New York reporting. Our planet is burning. New York reporting. New York reporting.
Oh, she was mean. They tried to rip my phone out of my hand. So I want to point out, like, you know, that lady at the end was saying, calm down, calm down. That is a common tactic, like a real common tactic, folks, that they use to claim that we're getting angry, we're getting violent, and we're getting malicious. So when that happens, that scares me, because as a Indigenous BIPOC man, that gives the cops the green light to say, well, he was aggressing, and they're gonna, you know, they can go back on her and say, you know, was he aggressing? And she's like, calm down, calm down. This is how us Indigenous BIPOC get killed by cops, and it scares the living shit out of me when we have European American women pulling those tactics on us. But that event itself, it was hardcore. And I liked, Jay, I like how you were like, all right, split off in groups. We had 3 different groups. And then I was in the third group. Third group, like, had to separate, join the second group, and we're just walking up there. Jay sees us walking up there. He gives us the call to go, and then we're just casually going in. And then he books it right in there, and they're like, sir, and he's like, no, do your reporting. Oh, I love that. You had some mighty balls.
I mean, there is such a, I don't know. This is going to be a philosophical angle for a sec, but I think there is such a thing as luck, right? And we definitely got lucky. But I want to say what I was thinking first is that if that isn't proof that justice is on the side of us who are acting for justice, you know, that like I didn't, as soon as he was asking the person behind us, are you looking for the entrance to Brushes down here? As soon as he turned, something in me said go in, and it was literally the split second that let me get past him, so he had to follow, and then y'all could follow, and you know, it felt good, and it wouldn't have even really been anything remarkable if it was just one of us or 2 of us, but all of us showing up and being there together, that's what does it. And I couldn't be more like happy and proud to have been there, you know, with y'all. Like it's you know, I just said it lost for words for me. I'm still kind of tired because we're doing actions this week, and
I love how you were like twirling your hair. You're like, oh, what's going on? Oh, time to get in there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, nothing to see. Oh,
Exactly. I loved how we vibed. Like, we didn't have to communicate. Like, the whole group, we didn't have to communicate. Our eyes told us everything that we needed to do. Like, Jay was getting pulled on with the banner, so I'm grabbing the banner with him. Jason sees that I'm distressed, getting covered, and he's trying to get in there with us. Us at the end, reading the cops, reading who was around us in law enforcement, and noticing that the Secret Service, those can't swear on Facebook. You can't swear on Facebook, folks. But them suiting up and getting ready to, you know, come at us. We had that feeling, and the group being smart enough to taking that call and pulling back out, which I love the experience that we all have to be aware of those things going on. And that makes me more secure in the future to come out to DC and organize, not just with you, Jay, but with the entire Climate Defiance team.
Yeah, and I think we're learning so much every time. Like it's so fun that just Justin with the hand on Rosario's show. That's just a gentle thank you right there if I've ever seen one. And you know, I think that's so what makes us so special. It's almost like a reason to go do more actions, just so we keep learning and keep sharpening up and are ready for any of it. It feels so good, and I'm so happy to hear that, because that's how I feel being there as well. And I think that it doesn't feel anything close to the same without knowing that we're here together. We got each other's back. Again, it wouldn't be even remarkably close to the same thing if it was just one of us, you know. So
Well, you know, I'm only gonna try and keep you on for another 15 minutes because I know it's 10:16 over where you both are at. But we're gonna quickly go over what happened during the blockade. You know, how did we start that out? I can give you a little bit about, you know, where the three of us were at. You were running late. I had to use the restroom. We had just eaten some amazing freaking ramen. That we went to a ramen bar. I've never been to a ramen bar before, and Lobo's like, "Have you been to a ramen bar?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Well, you get to go to a ramen bar."
Oh yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a international kind of guy, and there's just so many delicious things across the world, and you know, everyone knows about cup of noodles or whatever, but like you gotta have like the real deal, like where this stuff came from, and like so. But you know, I'm really sad. I did not make good on my promise to get Gina her boba tea because she's never had boba tea. So next time, we'll get you.
Oh, you've got to. It's so good.
It's so good.
I hear Raul in the background. It is. Is that like pudding tea or that Jello tea with the little balls in it? No.
It's tapioca pearls. Like black.
So I am right.
Yeah. It's usually like stewed in brown sugar, like a brown sugar kind of thing for a long time. My friend ran a kung fu tea in Omaha for a while. Raul.
Booge, I missed your face.
Hi. This is my husband.
Aren't they the cutest?
Oh.
Yes.
So we were running late. We had to find a spot, and then we had to walk to the spot. And the four of us were just showing up right in time where we started marching with you all. And I have to say that the team that brought in that brass band, they should get a raise, because like if you're not marching with a brass band, then I don't know what you're doing out there. Because like we're bougie enough that we had a brass band that played Funky Town, and loved it.
We have to give a big shout out to Justin Blake too for leading the whole march. His energy and the way he was just on top of the chants and everything like that. It was great. I've never seen anybody else lead a march like that. It was so fun.
Yeah. And you know, absolutely plus Justin was a force, and I think that everybody was witnessing that, and it felt so strong. And I think what's so part of what's so beautiful about it is that, you know, Justin Blake is family to Jacob Blake, who, you know, experienced such deep injustice and direct result from our violent system. You know, and Justin wasn't directly in this kind of a movement space before that, but has been since then. And oh my gosh, are we feeling that pursuit of justice with all the Justins, but especially that one, you know? Oh my gosh,
he is a force. Bam. Give me one moment. I know there's a link to this one. Bam. There we go. Oh, okay. All right. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, folks. Sorry. I just found the best video of the night, and we'll get there. We'll get there. So I give it all to Justin. He ran from, what was it? We started at 4. No, we started at 5, all the way until about 9, 8 or 9. So he went straight 4 hours hosting that sucker and almost getting ran over.
Yeah, and he was part of the action in that morning too.
Oh my gosh. I mean, to be young and have that energy again. Whew.
I know I was sore. I'm still sore. I'm still recovering from 2 weeks ago. I can't believe it, Jay, that you're still hammering out those events.
Oh, and I apologize. I'm so tired, but y'all are giving me such joy and energy that I'm it's been a lot, and it is a special kind of energy, but it just is also so giving, and I think that so it's out of the necessity anyway. It feels so special.
So we had both Justins come speak at the rally. We also had a drive-by by John Legend. Secret Service, not the greatest at that event, I'd have to say, but we managed to hammer it through and, rock it out. You can see Gina giving them hell. We're going to bypass that one. Let's see. All right. So, okay, too far. So at the end of the night, it got crazy. I got thrown to somebody else's buddy. I got thrown to Riley's buddy, and I walked her to her car so it wouldn't get towed. And by the time we got to her car, I got the notification from Gina saying, I got the notification from Lobo saying that Gina's on the move, and they're all marching back to the park. And I was like, okay, cool. Okay, so we can move the car close to the park and pick them all up and get this done quickly. 3 minutes later, I get the message from Lobo saying, well, they're going the opposite direction. And I was like, crap, because I knew that we were doing an after party shindig, but I didn't exactly know if it was going to get executed or not. I should have known. Those you rambunctious kids know how to throw a party. I love it. And so I have Gina hit me up with her Facebook pin. And I don't know, folks, if you know this, but the government forces are dinking around with our Facebook, with our GPS, so they've made it all wonky. And we couldn't find the exact location. They kept on moving. We played cat and mouse. And all this time I was with Riley's buddy and not wanting to have Lobo come to us until I got the exact location. And finally, Jay reached out to me and was like, bam, here we are. So we got it as close as we could get to the French ambassador's place, which is where they were holding up at. And we parked. There was no parking spot, so we had to drive into the Moroccan embassy driveway, which had 2 different ways. And I reached out to Lobo, had him pull up right next to us, held out there for a moment, and I got this spidey sense. It said to me, Joe, go check on Gina. It's been too long that you haven't seen your buddy. Thankfully, Cheryl, my best friend from the East Coast, she had Gina's back the whole time. And she, I love Cheryl. Gina, how much do we love Cheryl?
We love Cheryl.
We love Cheryl. So Lobo and I, we book it over to where they were at the French ambassador's place. And we get there, and all we hear is this huge group singing. And oh, my heart filled with so much freaking joy knowing that the group busted their tail ends all day, and now they're getting close together as a community and singing such amazing songs. And I came up while y'all were singing All Star. And I was just like, that's what's up. That's what's up. And I couldn't believe it. Here, let me pull it up, folks. Oh, back
You're
it
not
up just a little bit.
You're not gonna pull up the video of the Secret Service
No.
vehicle trying to run into our blockade and almost like I think they did hit Justin Blake and Jason Goward, and they were straight up trying to hit Michael. Michael's like, I ain't moving. And everyone else saw that Michael wasn't moving, and they're like, oh crap, this white boy's gonna get ran over. And so here comes Justin and Jason and everyone running to get in front of this Secret Service vehicle that was gonna run over a bunch of people, and they were like, no, you shall not pass. And then the Secret Service like kind of like jolted forward and like hit Justin in the knee, like they were gonna actually run us over. I thought that was so violent and intimidating. Like, why would they try to do something like that, especially to peaceful people who are just trying to save the world, you know?
Because intimidation is their MO.
Yeah.
No, exactly. We live in a situation where they think deterrence and punishment are the most effective ways to influence humanity, society, and it's just such a limited toolkit.
There was a discussion in our main chat, and I wanted to gloss it over, but I'm glad that you brought it up and are talking about it, because those Secret Service folks are shady as all hell.
We're pressing charges, by the way. Justin's pressing charges about that driver.
Good.
Awesome. Yeah, I support whatever Justin wants to do regarding that incident.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another opportunity to kind of call out the manifestations of what can happen like that. Yeah. And yeah, I don't know if his knee's still injured, you know, but it was definitely clipped, and
Squish, if you want to find that video, we can throw it up. Yeah, I do want to play this video. Like I said, it did warm my heart to hear all y'all sing it. And bam. Uh-oh. I had it.
In my eye, country road.
Oh man. Okay, I'm gonna pause it because like copyrights. I freaking hate copyrights. Oh, we're probably already demonetized because of my mouth though. Anyways, did you happen to find that video, sis? Oh, maybe.
Yes, I did.
All right. All yours.
Okay.
And I do have to give a shout out to Jason Goward for being right in the mix on this one. He was right there. I mean, yelling and screaming at them to not go any further. Bye. You know, they had no business being there.
Well, and we weren't even on the road or anything. They just came driving, like we were standing there already blockading it off the road on public property, and they just came up and started driving right on into us. And that's when Justin and Jason and everyone else tried to jump in front of the vehicle to stop them, because they were legit going to drive into Michael and everybody else that was there blockading. It was really scary. Really completely.
Sorry for interrupting you numerous times. Interrupting cow says moo. There was no purpose for them to even drive through. There was a line of youth, there was a line of cops, and there was the barricade. They weren't going to get through. They did that, in my opinion, purposely, just to cause terror. And that's the Secret Service. If you don't know this, Secret Service have too much damn power to do way too much. They have more power and authority than the local DC cops. And honestly, you don't want to get pulled over, arrested by Secret Service. They're the ones that are doing the arrest on our climate defenders and our protesters in DC for cannabis use, and it's legal in the city of DC. Anyways, so I promised our guests that I'd close it up about 9:30. It's 10:30 where they're at. Any final words from our guests that you want to get off your chest, that you want to say? And if you want to also talk about our farewell dinner on Sunday, you sure can do that.
Yeah, I would love to talk about that. So we had food stipends, and I was like, okay, let's go to Walmart and let's buy some groceries, because that was like the closest like grocery store we could find. And I guess Joey thought that I was just gonna cook dinner one night, and we bought like 200 and almost 300, a little bit shy of $300 worth of food, because I was like, well, we're there for Tuesday through Sunday, so I'm going to cook 3 meals a day. And so I bought enough food to cook 3 meals a day. And then these guys are like, oh, we only eat till like 3 p.m. every day, maybe twice a day, if that. I'm just like, but I bought all this food. So
we run on adrenaline and coffee.
So like Saturday after the thing, we're talking about like, well, I have a lot of food left over. And they're like, oh, just take it home. I'm like, no, I can't do that. One, this food, this money that I bought this food with was provided for this action. Two, I'm just used to being a community activist, and it's like what is given to me goes back into community. Three, the native way is we share everything that we have. And so at one point he was like, well, I don't know, like how many people can we invite? Is there going to be enough? I'm like, it doesn't matter if everyone just gets one spoonful. Oh, we're going to share everything we got, because that's the native way.
That's what's up.
We got really creative with what was left over. We MacGyvered it for you old folks that know what that means. And we made it happen. Here, bro, come here. Talk about it. Talk about what you did. Because at one point, like, I got back that Sunday because we were supposed to go cook at the church place that was hosting us, and then found out, oh no, we're supposed to be there at 10. And when I got back, I'm like, I'm crashing. I'm like, you know what? You go cook. I'm going to bed for 2 hours. Bye. And he was just like, what?
Yeah. So, yeah, that dinner, I really had no idea what to make. I just took out all the ingredients and decided to make, I guess, a roast. I had chicken thighs and added some smoked sausage and
onions and potatoes, cilantro.
Onions, potatoes, cilantro, and yeah.
Oh,
it was so good. It's right there in that black pot.
Yeah, that was that chicken. And then I made some Puerto Rican style pork chops And because at first I was like, well, we're gonna have pork chops for Saturday night dinner, but when we got back from the action, we're like, we're going to bed. We're all dead from all that walking. So I cooked it the next day, and to make sure there was enough for everybody, I just chopped up the little pieces. And I mean, I don't know how other people were eating it, but I was mixing that with the salad because we had salad. So I made a pork chop salad.
Ooh.
But what was so funny to me though, so I made a bunch of like refried beans, right? And like nobody was really touching them too much, and no one was touching the tortillas that we had. And then so I went everybody there because I know like no one else there was Chicano. No one was like a tortilla eater, right? So I was like, hey guys, look, if you get some beans and just put it like on like a dab on the tortillas and fold it like a taco, look, it's like a little burrito. And then next thing you know, like all the tortillas are gone. Like everyone's like, oh, I want to try that.
But all the food was eaten and taken home. It was
I think the only thing that was left on that table was a little bit of spinach left.
And cilantro.
Spinach and cilantro.
We cleared it.
We had extra greens left over. That's rare. No, but that's what I just love that's where we're talking about now, because I think when we bring our whole humanity to the picture of these intersections, it's just so powerful, and anything that's just too about one thing is not really what life is about, in my opinion. And I think that when you teed up this question, Joey, I think like the main things come in mind are love, and like abundance and friendship, and just living that way, and showing it and demonstrating it, and bringing in that energy. I think it's just the dinner, and is a major example, and every step along the way. I think I learned so much about myself that week, just at like in a way I wouldn't have ever expected, but just by sharing presence with y'all, and y'all living in such a purposeful and powerful and loving way. It's something that I'll forever remember, and never be the same in a good way, and I just love y'all, and I'm so glad that we could connect.
It was the saddest day for me. Like saying goodbye to everyone. Y'all saw me cry. Like when Cheryl left, I was out there crying. She didn't give me my second goodbyes. Oh, and seeing you two last time was Sunday.
I just remember Gina.
Monday for you and
Gina running up to me and be like, "Don't cry, don't cry, don't cry."
Yeah, I was crying. It was and it was purposefully made short because I knew like the tears. It was just going to be an emotional thing.
I love tears. I love making people cry.
Oh,
in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah, because as I explained earlier, the whole scientific function of tears is your brain has a bunch of chemicals in it, and these chemicals make you feel emotions. And when you have too much chemicals making you feel too strong emotions, it has to get out of your brain somehow, and it gets out through your tears. So crying gets rid of toxic chemicals that can actually make you feel sick and make you feel worse. So crying is not only does it make you feel better, but it's super healthy. So that's why I like people cry.
Yeah, I think we can feel we can feel like when we build up to need that good cry. It must be our body sensing that's so cool.
Yes, I'll always encourage people to cry, and I when I cry, I don't hold back the tears for nobody. And I'm a big, tough, scary looking vato when I'm in the street. I mean, right now I'm like teddy bear mode, but when I'm in the street, I mean, I get serious, and people they don't play. But I don't care. It doesn't matter how tough you are, because crying doesn't make you weaker. It makes you stronger. Being vulnerable makes you stronger.
Agreed. All right, folks. One last round of goodbyes. Stay on after the credits, and we'll finish up saying our goodbyes. But anything else you want to say to the viewers before we go offline?
Oh, can I?
Oh, go for it.
Okay. So, with this whole thing of doing these actions, people delivered Biden a historic midterm. And now, he must deliver for us if he expects us to keep showing up for him. And climate is a top issue for everyone. And our support is not going to be taken for granted. Biden promised to end fossil fuel leases on federal lands, and now he's approving them faster than Trump. And we need to hold him accountable. Asking nicely is not enough. We've written our letters, we've signed sorry guys, it's at the end of the night. And we've written our letters, made our phone calls, called our politicians, but we need mass turnout, disruptive, nonviolent direct action to compel our politicians to act. It's completely unacceptable that the elite and these politicians whine and dine as the planet burns. And we must cut emissions in half this decade. And we are capable of it. Long after Joe Manchin and Joe Biden are gone, we will be the one living with the consequences. So, like I said, we are capable of doing better, while living our lives just as we're living them. ExxonMobil was fully aware of the link between fossil fuel emissions and global heating, but they spent decades refuting it and publicly attacking climate science and scientists in order to make maximum profit. Scientists predicted with breathtaking accuracy the disastrous climate path that is wreaking havoc across the globe. Scientists say we have less than 10 years to make a drastic change. And so we are capable of doing more. And Biden and all of our politicians and social elite need to step up because they are complacent. They are the ones who are making these decisions that are destroying our world just to make money. And it's completely ridiculous. You have fossil fuel companies who made trillions of dollars last year, not millions, not billions, trillions. Well, you have over half of full-time working Americans not even being able to afford a one-bedroom apartment. And we were always capable of doing better, and we've always had better solutions. Henry Ford's first automobiles ran off a hemp fuel. The whole body was made of hemp steel. And there's so much more that hemp can do. Hemp can clean the air. It's an excellent carbon sequestration. 1 hectare of industrial hemp can absorb 15 tons of CO2 per hectare. And hemp's rapid growth makes it one of the fastest CO2 to biomass conversion tools available. It's more efficient than agroforestry. So when we are looking at these solutions, we cannot turn to these false solutions when we clearly have always been capable of using better sources of fuel, such as hemp and solar. And you guys know I could go on and on and on about hemp and the climate and all that stuff, but please, everyone, absorb all this education, absorb all this knowledge, and share it with people. Share it with your neighbors. I even talked to the people who changed my oil about it, and now they know, I'm not after their jobs or anything like that. It's just, they don't have a choice, and they're most definitely not getting paid enough to be working the 40 hours a week. And so we have that camaraderie there. But talk to everyone you can about it, educate them, and then join us in this movement to really wake people up. We don't have that much time, but we do have time, and there is hope, and we do have the resources and technology to live better lives. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in and listening and seeing all the good work that we have been doing. And I am just, it really makes me hopeful. And it keeps me going with the people I have met, such as Lobo and Jay and Michael and BA and all my other water protector family, Nora. I mean, it warms my heart to know that there are smart, like-minded people like me out there who know that we are capable of doing better.
Oh, you give a native the mic and she won't give it back. Miigwech again to Lobo from the Brown Berets, Jay from Climate Defiance. Keep on organizing, folks. We got this. Until next time, miigwech for watching. I'll be back in 2 weeks with more news and commentary. Gigawagman Minowa.
I don't believe in a no-win scenario.
Wouldn't let that shit happen to me, though.
William Knifeman.
The fact is that I don't remember.
Come on, man.
We will not let you get away with this. Right here, right now, is where we draw the line. The world is waking up, and change is coming whether you like it or not. Thank you.
Oh, young warrior.
Your powers combined, I am Captain Planet!
Bye, have a great time.